who's watching this. I'm just going to quickly go over what conditions have been like the last couple of days and what I think they will be like for the weekend and the week afterwards. This is my third time trying to record this. I don't know why my microphone hasn't picked it up, so I apologise if I go through things a bit quickly. Stuff in the Norries has been going, and some other higher north-facing crags. On the west coast, conditions-wise, it's basically been early season routes have been in slightly more difficult condition than they would be if it was just snowed up or rimed up rock. As in the mixed routes have no build up. There was no neve when I was out the last couple of days, and there was this thin layer of kind of icy, not quite verglass, not quite ice. It didn't plate when you smacked it. You just kind of had to scrape it all away, and it revealed black rock underneath. So it made things quite difficult to predict and took quite a decent amount of time to find the hooks and things that you want to use. But it looked really good and it's really fun to climb. You can see here there's no neve on these ledges, it's just soft powder. This was on Tuesday. For Schnector itself, Jacobs is nearly complete. There's the boulder still isn't quite filled in. Aladdin's has a small ice pitch on the step as would be expected for early season. Mirror looks like there's a small rocky step about around 2-3 around here. Crotch has a small step around 2-3 at the top as well. The runner would probably be about 2-3 as well. We saw a team on Red Gully or Goat Track Gully, I think, yesterday. They got up that. So all of the easier gullies, apart from Fiacla Coolar, seem to be in climbable condition at a grade or two harder than the guidebook might suggest, if they get some consolidation. Otherwise, just pick your early season routes, and if there's neve on them, but I'll go over what we'd expect to see for the weekend ahead. So last night, Wednesday evening, we had this front come through. Initially fell as snow, and then it turned to sleet and drizzle up to the highest summits, and that just would have saturated the snowpack quite a bit. But we're still in the colder air mass, so as that moves through tonight and into tomorrow morning, we should hopefully see some consolidation in the snowpack, as well as some drips and drops of precipitation as this low just moves through as well into Friday morning. And through Friday morning into the lunchtime itself, we've got a small ridge of high pressure across the country. So it's going to be a quite nice, relatively low wind day. Especially the north-facing stuff should be quite sheltered from these winds. But it's this next area of low pressure that I reckon will get named as a storm. Storm Dara, that would be. That's coming through from Friday evening through Saturday, and the remains of it just leaving us Sunday early hours. It's definitely one to watch as it's a pretty serious storm with very arduous conditions will be coming through. But if you can get out tomorrow on Friday, I'd recommend it. Just be aware of what time you want to get off the hill. So going over to things like Loch Ann or big days on Ben Bird probably wouldn't be the best idea, just in case you get caught in this on the way out. So on the west coast, we've got deteriorating weather, it says on the MWIS. And then Saturday, it's looking very strong wind indeed. I wouldn't be surprised if that changes to gusting 60, maybe even 70 for Saturday. And we've got no weather warnings just yet either, but do keep an eye on this, especially for Saturday itself. I reckon we'll get some yellow for precipitation through Friday night and wind for Saturday. Sunday looks like the better day of the weekend. Still not the best day ever, but it should be relatively nice. So if you can only get out one day this weekend, I'd go for Sunday. It just means that the snowpack has a little bit longer to consolidate and settle down. You can see what people battle up on Saturday and make a bit more of an informed decision as well on Sunday. But if you are wanting to go out on Saturday, maybe drop the grade or go for something a little bit shorter, just because these winds are going to be extremely strong and there's going to be a lot of precipitation in them as well. Potentially localized thunder, that wouldn't surprise me, but it's going to be a very Scottish day on Saturday, that's for certain. So moving on from Saturday, what we've got is this, there's this storm system moving through there on Saturday, the remains sticking around for Sunday, giving us nice northerly winds, and then this high pressure system just sits over the top of us for the middle of the week, bringing northeasterly winds and very nice stable conditions. So low winds, clear skies, inversion conditions as well. Do note it's the 5-degree isotherm, positive 5 degrees sitting above us, and that's common for high pressure systems in December, just because we've got inversions taking place, and I'll show that in just a moment. It looks like that's getting toppled Thursday night into Friday, bringing some colder and potentially more moist air back into the weekend afterwards, but this is all a bit uncertain with how this low pressure is going to interact with the high that's building. It's not a very dominant high, it's not sitting around for too long, but it should be enough to make some really nice conditions Monday to Wednesday. So the UKV has a small front getting picked up for this afternoon coming through, so some drizzly rain and snow onto the tops before the northerly winds come back for the evening to hopefully firm up the snowpack again. Looking like a fine morning tomorrow with that small ridge of high pressure we found earlier, and then the reach of the cold front here. If you're able to read clouds, you should be able to predict when exactly this comes through if you're out on the hill tomorrow. It's currently saying around 3-4 to the west coast and then 5 to the east coast. So if you will see the clouds start rolling in throughout the afternoon tomorrow, maybe from lunchtime, and just be aware and do know that it's only going to get worse the longer you stay out. And into Friday night itself looks quite horrendous to be stuck out having an epic, so definitely try and avoid that if you can. The wind's barreling around to the north for Saturday itself, being very cold air, but it does mean it won't hold as much precipitation as it would through the Friday evening. Still going to be a lot of precipitation coming through and very Scottish weather, but it's not going to be Armageddon, hopefully. Still manageable, but Sunday does look slightly better with less precipitation around. Still some drips and drabs of snow, but the west coast looking slightly nicer as the moisture is taken up by the northwest mountains. Into the high pressure building for early next week with clear skies and inversion conditions. So the freezing level, you can see it's all hovering around 800, 600 meters throughout this whole storm cycle. It's where the storm is meeting this colder air that we've got is where the precipitation is going to fall the heaviest, but 600, 800 meters, it's going to be quite a lot of crags getting the snow. Into Monday and into early next week, it gets super messy with the high pressure dominance, so there's not much point reading into this. But what I will show is these altitude temperatures. So for Monday at 6 p.m, you can see the temperature at Braemar, this is at 2 meters above sea level, would be about -6, which is kind of ridiculous. Whereas at 850 hectopascals, so 1,500 meters, they have it being 2 or 3 degrees positive. So there's clear indication here for inversion conditions, whether that be cloud inversions or really clear blue skies. It's going to be very nice to be out during the early days of next week, but when that low pressure system topples the high, it's just a bit uncertain at the moment. So in summary, what we've got at the moment is a little thaw of the snowpack happening today before it should refreeze this evening into tomorrow morning. A decent day, or at least a decent morning tomorrow, as this ridge of high pressure sits over us for Friday, and into the evening this storm system, potentially to get named, comes through. I wouldn't be surprised if there is some weather warnings coming through for that. A very Scottish day indeed on Saturday, with strong northerly winds and blizzard whiteout conditions for most summits. Into Sunday with slightly less precipitation, but still fairly strong winds around. High pressure dominance over most of the UK for a couple of days, which is then getting toppled by a low towards the end of the week. So the best days are looking like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the best day of the weekend is looking like Sunday, with Friday, as in tomorrow, not looking too bad as well.